Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. Dr. Ruth Anderson here with Enlightened World Network. We are so pleased to be bringing you a new show today. It is called Health in Your Hands, Mudra Therapy with Sharmee Divan. Sharmee's our expert here today. We're going to let her teach us everything about mudras we have no idea about here over in the United States. So Sharmee, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to be on EWN.
So you just take over and teach us.
Okay, all right. Welcome everyone, and this is our very first show on Mudra Therapy. So namaste from India to everyone out there. A little basics on Mudra Therapy that I want to introduce to you guys is that the concept is really old, like hundreds of years old, originating from the Ayurvedic tradition, from the Buddhist tradition, sometimes from the Chinese and Japanese traditions as well. But what we are going to be learning about is coming from the school of Ayurveda. So let us understand what the word mudra means over here. The word mudra comes from two Sanskrit words, mud and dravya, which means the flow of happiness. This is energy flowing through your body just by doing something as basic as touching different parts of your hand itself. There are other mudras and bandhas or holds that we talk about in yogic tradition, but here we are exclusively learning about mudras and mudras only. So let's begin with the basic. Now, let's understand our body. Our bodies are made of the 5 elements that exist in nature. So that would be air, earth, water, fire, ether, right? The same principles apply in mudra therapy also. So there are the 5 elements that we work with mainly when we work with therapeutic mudras. What we are learning here is very general mudras so that it is completely safe for anyone and everyone to practice them. The only thing is that when you start to practice mudras, it does take your time and dedication. And yes, because it's a very gentle system of healing and regulating your body and hormones, that it takes a little longer than, let's say, even Ayurvedic medication or allopathy for sure. So what I need from you is your time and your patience and also your dedication to doing these mudras. So let's understand the 3 types of bodies that we have. Okay, there is the vata body. Vata means air and space. So the more the high element in your body is air and space, which means that you could be having a tendency to put on weight gain, right? So that is the vata body, where air and space element or air and ether element are in excess. The second kind of body that we have is the pitta body. The pitta body is where the fire and the water element are in excess. So people who are prone to acidity, people who have extremely high metabolism, things like that. And then the third one is the kapha body. The kapha body is where your water and your earth elements are high. So you could be more prone to, like, your immunity will usually be low if you have a kapha body, because there is a lot of accumulation of water as well as earth element in your body. So we have this clear so far. So there is the vata body, which is excess of air and ether or space. The pitta, which is fire and water. and the kapha, which is water and earth elements. And we all kind of are in permutation combinations of this. Having said that, I am not an Ayurvedic doctor. So if you are interested in knowing what your body type is, you might want to go to an expert in Ayurveda or an Ayurvedic doctor to figure out what are the elements that are in excess or in lack in your body. Once again, I just want to inform you for your benefit, I have not looked at teaching you guys any therapeutic mudras at all. We are only going to do mudras which are 100% safe for anybody to practice. Okay. So let's look at where do these elements stand on our fingers. So for the benefit of that, I have labeled my fingers. So the thumb element, the thumb is the fire element. Okay, you see the F. Is that clear, Ruth? So the thumb is the fire element. The index finger is the air element. Air. I'm gonna do my best to not show the middle finger. It's not reverse, okay? So the middle finger is the ether or the space element. The ring finger, the EA that you read over here, so that is the earth element. And the last one, the W, stands for water. So let's revise this together. Fire, right? Air, ether, earth, and water. So most of you might be aware by looking at, pictures of Indian rishis and, Brahmins, gods, goddesses, Buddha for that matter, of this particular mudra. This is the most commonly practiced mudra. Now think about it this way. If I'm to put it in a context of any culture, if I am saying everything is fine, this is a mudra. And this mudra, by the way, is the most potent mudra that you can ever do for yourself. This is known as the king of all the mudras. So what is it called? It is called the Gyana Mudra. Gyana Mudra. It is the king of all the mudras, which also then means that whether you do any other mudra or therapeutic mudras, let's say you contact a mudra therapist, you get so intrigued and you want to go reach out to a mudra therapist for your ailments, then the first mudra that the therapist will ask for you to practice is the Gyana Mudra. So if you're with me, go ahead and do this along with me. And it's really simple. All you're saying is, good job, okay? So here, what is happening when you touch the tip of your index fingers to the tips of your thumbs, and usually we will recommend that you do it with both. It is a balancing mudra. It brings your body into balance. If you think of the times where people will put their hands in this particular mudra, it is when they want to meditate. Dhyan means to meditate, to focus. So when you put your hands in this mudra, ideally it needs to comfortably rest in your lap. Why in your lap, you would ask? So your thigh area of your leg is the largest area of your body that has maximum number of nerves passing through it. Okay, and most of these nerves, of course, reach the spinal column and then go upward, and the same thing reverse. So when you put yourself in the Gyana Mudra, it is balancing, number one, your left and right brain hemisphere. Okay, it balances the left and the right brain. It brings you in that perfect harmony and groundedness. Spiritually speaking, this is what it does for you. Therapeutically speaking, it works on your pineal gland, it works on your pituitary gland, it works on your hypothalamus. Everything starts to get into control. It begins to calm you down and starts to transform your personality. People who do meditation on a daily basis and they are practicing the Gyana Mudra, you will see that they are calmer, happier, more balanced individuals. So this is the mudra which we say is the base of every problem. So this is your foundation mudra, that is like the biggest, largest, most important building block to receiving and doing mudra therapy for yourself. And why I call this program as Health in Your Hands is because the only person who can do mudras for you is yourself. I cannot be doing mudras for you and you be benefiting from it. And for those of us who have both our hands intact, these are really simple holds. They work for people no matter what ailments they have. So like even if you have arthritis, doing something as simple as this is not going to be a challenge for you. So that's why this is something that even the elderly can do. Something I get my child to do the Gyana Mudra from time to time, especially when he's feeling all worked up and uneasy. So little children can do it. Anybody, any age can safely hold the Gyana Mudra. Now, one thing to remember is that because this is the foundation, remember that when you're building any kind of a building, right? When you're laying the foundation, it takes the maximum amount of time. And if the foundation is not strong, the building will collapse, right? So because of that, what you want to do is invest more time in doing the Gyana Mudra. And the easiest way, the most efficient way that I find, which I would say is a bit of a shortcut method, is that you buy yourself just regular dressing tape from the pharmacy. Any place will have a dressing tape, the white color dressing tape that we usually get to dress our wounds. Just buy like a thin dressing tape and go ahead and just tape it around your fingers and go to bed. So this is the last thing that you do before you go to bed, and you cannot go excess with it. So like ideally the time to hold the Gyana Mudra is 40 minutes, 40 to 45 minutes. Now, most of us don't have the time in our busy daily schedules to hold this mudra. The best way is to use the shortcut. Use this every single day. Tape your index fingertip to your thumb tip every single day, both your hands, and go to bed. This should be the last activity that you do. And let's say you are someone who wakes up in an hour or two to use the washroom, you can remove the tape because your 45 minutes have been taken care of, okay? Because most of us will use the washroom, go to bed, maybe in an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours is when we will wake up for, a loo break. So this is when you can just peel the tape right off. I like to do it on the insides of my fingers because I find the tape a little bit tacky, but it still stays in place. So if you have pretty nails and you just put on your nail polish, I'm giving you an even better solution: tape on the inside of your fingers and not the outside. That is one thing that I want you to practice doing before we move forward into the other mudras that we are going to discuss. So this is what I have to share for today.
There we go. That is so interesting, Sharmee. I really had no idea. Mudras isn't anything that I've spent any time learning about. So I'm really appreciating this opportunity. And even just as I was sitting here holding it, listening to you, I could feel my central nervous system just calm down. Wow.
Energy starts to come together. Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah.
I didn't understand why people would hold that in their laps. So now I
Mhm.
do.
Yeah, so this is something that I have been practicing for quite some time, and I can see the difference in my own demeanor because I'm the person, who likes to first try it before I buy it or sell it. It is something that I personally can vouch by. I have seen people like I worked with a lot of clients who have anxiety. So, one of the most amazing mudras, once again, to use for anxiety is the Gyana Mudra. So, if you have anxiety, you're feeling uncomfortable, you feel like there's a lot going on, there's a sense of overwhelm, all you need to do is put your hands in the Gyana Mudra, keep them comfortably in your lap, and just breathe, like just count your breath. Even if you're not able to focus on anything, all you need to do is one, two, and that's all that you need to do. You don't need to be an excellent meditator, you don't need to keep your eyes closed for it. The other thing, by the way, that the Gyan Mudra also does is that it helps the functioning of your muscles and tendons. So if you have cramping issues and things like that, this is again a very, very good mudra to practice. So a lot of the time, so when I hold my anxiety programs, I start my anxiety clients with about 10 minutes of Gyana Mudra. And even when I'm delivering a lecture, I will, ask them to hold it. So I recently had this incident where I was working with a client who has the anxiety disorder. It's not a day-to-day anxiety. And it like a total of 5 minutes she was holding the Gyan Mudra, and she was just talking to me. I said, just hold your hands in the Gyan Mudra, rest them in your lap, and keep talking to me. Okay. And she is quite fidgety. So I like it initially she was like, oh yeah, and like was squirming a little bit in her seat. But as like minutes passed by, what started to happen that I really prominently noticed was that her breathing started to regulate, like she's going and then she's like, so there's that sudden sense of relaxation. And she started to tell me that, oh my God, like I can suddenly breathe better. So I said, okay, tell me what else is happening in your body, get in touch with your body, because that's another activity that I do with an anxiety client. And so she started to talk, and like 5 minutes with that mudra hold, she started to yawn. And where she started to yawn, and she just went like, and just put her head down, and she's just breathing. And she's like, can you just like start, speaking something to me? So I said that, okay, so I just did like a mini meditation thing with her. And she, at the end of the session, she was like, I really forgot why I had come and what was bothering me. So can it do that? Yes. And it is so simple. It's pain free. It's 100% pain free. It's not going to harm you in any way. It will also like help with your bone health, by the way. So any problem that you can think of. I've given this to people who have like, I had a client who had hair related issues. She was losing a lot of hair. And I said, 15 minutes, you're going to do the Gyan Mudra at least for 40 minutes. Or I said, tape it up and go to bed. And her hair loss reduced like by 40% in the first week, which no medication was doing
Oh,
for her.
wow.
So
So we have
the results are miraculous.
Wow, we have a couple of EWN family members who are going through radiation or chemotherapy, health related issues, cancer. And I know that they're anxious as they're going into radiation and chemo. Would this be helpful for them to stay in that position during the?
Yeah. So when they go into the chemo, they would want to just tape their fingers while receiving that radiation.
Okay.
That's all that they need to do. And they will instantly start to feel that calmness, that sense of calm, that sense of grounding, that sense of just being in the now. This mudra will bring you in the now. And eventually it will take you on a meditative journey. But at first, it will bring you in your body, not take you outside your body. It will start to bring you in your body, first by regulating your breath.
Excellent. Sharmee, thank you so much for this. I'm looking forward to your next lessons. How many lessons are you thinking you're going to be teaching us?
Well, we've done the Gyana Mudra. We have 4 more to go, so a total of 5 at least, and hopefully more in future.
Okay, I love this. Thank you so, so much. So, Sharmee Divan, Health in Your Hands, Mudra Therapy. So, Sharmee, thank you. And friends here at Enlightened World Network, stay tuned to Enlightened World Network. We've always got something going on, and it's all for you. It's all for your own spiritual transformation and growth. So much love. Take good care, and we'll see you soon. Thank you, Sharmee.